What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we have to go over everything we know about Life is Strange True Colors. So I'm going to try and get this up immediately after this was announced. And, the kind of excitement was, in my opinion, taken out of the air when it was pretty much all of this stuff leaked on Twitter around half an hour before the show started. But Life is Strange True Colors, a full-length game that will have episodes, I guess, technically built in. Now, I do want to have a video entirely separate of this where I want to talk about the episodes of this game because I do have feelings about it coming out all at one time. The way they're doing it is definitely a middle ground where, again, it comes out fully, you play the full thing all as one, but if you want to take breaks, or I guess separate from that, you will be able to play this game as chapters. The leaks were all true. In fact, I would even go so far to say the leaks talking about Stephanie, there were a lot of people that talked about Steph being the main character of this game. They were close. She is in this game. She is a romance option. She is a character that you're going to be able to get very, very close to, but she is not, the main character that you're playing as. Now, again, she is obviously in Before the Storm, very, very lightly used in Before the Storm, but honestly, if we want to connect things to Life is Strange, which I do love doing because Life is Strange 1 is my favorite of all of these games, this obviously takes place after that first game. She looks significantly in the way that obviously the game just looks overall better, right? The way that they're doing facial models and all really everything visually is definitely improved from back in 2015, even Before the Storm in 2017. So obviously, this is a little bit after we're in a new city, a new kind of like a smaller area of Haven, okay? And there's not too much you can say based off of the trailer. I am liking a fair amount of it. I will be honest, and that's something that, by the way, you can fully expect me to be as we go through this and as we get until the game comes out, because I was not shy with talking about my true feelings, not true colors, but true feelings of Life is Strange 2. I really didn't like that game throughout it. I was very vocal about it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I was kind of the villain of Life is Strange 2 on the internet. Loads of people did not like me or the content that I made talking about it. I look at it as I was just being flat out honest. And to be flat out honest here, what I will tell you is I am very excited from everything that we've seen. September, coming out in September is fantastic. Again, like we kind of talked about, could they do it in a couple months from now? Would they do it over the summer? September is really not all that far away. And with the added benefit, I guess, of putting all of these, the entire game out all in one, that I think would, to me, that excuses them in a way, like if they even need to be excused by me, right? Like, who am I to say that? But it excuses them of not having the game come out in the next couple months or over the summer, okay? So I have nothing wrong with the release date. I don't necessarily have anything wrong with the way they're handling the actual release. Obviously, the different editions of this game is quite something. I'll tell you, I almost teared up at the Life is Strange 1 remaster and Before the Storm remaster. Way, way, way more emotional to me than obviously this game. Now, that's because we haven't experienced this game, but I love the first game. Is one of my favorite games of all time. I've always said that. I've always been, again, very, very honest about that. I cannot wait to replay it. Again, I replayed it back when Life is Strange 2 was coming out. I still loved it just as much, maybe slightly less, because obviously you don't get the surprises the second time, but I loved it so much, and I cannot wait to play it a third time, this time in a remastered form, just again, to see Max, to see Chloe. I mean, Max looks absolutely incredible. Chloe, we got a little bit of that upgraded visuals in Before the Storm. We got to see maybe what she would look like when graphical updates and stuff, were to be implemented. And now we get to see Max. Holy dear Jesus. So to me, that was almost as big as this game. I'm a fan of her powers, of Alex's powers of doing emotions. Now, we heard like mind reading. It is kind of mind reading, but again, you're really learning about these characters through their emotions, and if they're strong enough, that's what she says in the trailer, if they're strong enough, she can kind of go further with it. So it is interesting. It is interesting, and I like the fact that we're going back to a small little town where we can really learn to love it and learn to appreciate it as its own character almost. I appreciate probably the smaller cast and a consistent cast, a cast that doesn't change every episode. All of these things are good, okay? I have nothing against Alex. I have nothing against Steph or any of these other people. I'm hoping that it's well acted, well voiced, well all of that stuff, okay? One thing I will say in terms of a negative is repetitiveness. And what do I mean by that? Well, number one, I don't like that she can play the guitar, okay? I feel like that is a Max-specific thing. So when you do something like that, you're trying to, in my opinion, replicate some of the stuff that she can do to put into this new character. I'm not exactly a big fan of that. Okay, that's really nitpicking, but I do just want to throw that out there. My biggest thing, and I get this is Deck 9, and we've known this is going to be Deck 9 for months now, okay? So that's not surprising. But what's a little odd is this game is very much framed a lot like Twin Mirror. Now, if you guys didn't play Twin Mirror, I don't blame you. I did. It was the Don't Nod game that came out this past December. Remember, it was reworked. It took them years to make. It was a full game. It was like I don't know, 5-6 hour game. It wasn't episodic, and you just played it. But that game literally was a detective case about you solving your brother's death, and you're literally doing that exact same thing here. So I don't consider that nitpicking, and I get that was Don't Nod. This is Deck 9. That game was in the works for years. Funny enough, though, that game was in the works for years, and this game was in the works since 2017. So they were both working on these independently. Obviously, they didn't, I would assume that they didn't say, hey, we're both working on this game. That's really cool. But that's what I will say for now. It's hard to, super criticize or super go at the game because obviously, and I don't want to, okay, unless obviously something bad happens. But I will say, going into it, how they're setting it up. Again, pros, the environment or the setting of it, the characters, the idea of this emotional power. Steph being in it really does open some doors to please, love of God, mention Max or mention Chloe. Please, I'm literally begging you. So there are a lot of good things. Okay, the fact again that you can play it all in once makes a lot of people happy. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I know other people really are, and there's nothing wrong with that. So those are all pros. I want to make that clear because people are probably going to come after me for saying anything negative about this game, but I want to say that I do have pros on it. But the con is, going into 1, we didn't really know all that much to expect. I mean, we knew the general gist of it, but obviously it was the first game in this Life is Strange franchise. 2, definitely, I would say, even had a wider approach to it because it was the brothers on the run thing. But going back to 1, and even before the storm, because in reality, and in my opinion, those are the best ones. Okay, I guess that is just an opinion. But Deck 9 also made Before the Storm. And with Life is Strange 1, I think what made it so special is it was a game that focused on these people, on the relationships, on sometimes social issues. Okay, it focused on Max's powers, and it also had a central plot, like you could say it had a detective story, obviously, because we're trying to solve what was going on with Rachel and all that stuff, and then there was Jefferson, and there was and Prescott. There was a lot of things trying to save Chloe, and you can keep going throughout all these episodes of what was happening kind of in the moment, in reality. Let's even call it in reality. But behind the scenes, there was the hurricane coming for Arcadia Bay, and that, throughout the episodes, really became a big thing where that was so special and so terrifying in a way, and that was kind of separate from everything else. It was kind of a dual story almost, and none of the other games, even Before the Storm, none of the other games replicated that. Now, I'm not saying you have to, because I know I just said, well, she can play guitar, Max can play guitar, Alex can play guitar. I don't exactly like that. So I know it's, is it hypocritical? I don't want them to completely repeat things, but I want it to be a little bit more layered, and I just feel like this game so far, again, this is the negative I would come up with right now. So far, just from the trailer, without, playing any part of this game, and I'm sure we'll see more of it, is I don't love that it seems like it actually kind of is simplistic. Now, obviously, the emotions and the empathy and all that kind of stuff will play into it, and maybe that'll make the game a little bit bigger, but I would like there to be some surprises and some big things that we didn't even see in this trailer, which is different because actually in the trailer for Life is Strange, I believe you get to see the Chloe stuff happening with Prescott, but you also see the tornado, the hurricane, coming after Arcadia Bay towards the end of the trailer, so you actually get to see both of those. So I don't know if they would do anything more with this game. So you'll have to see. These are all just very early on impressions. I'm so excited. I still am. I'm still very excited. Obviously going to be playing this game day one. I've been covering this game for months, every single week. I'm going to be continuing covering it every single week, probably more than that as we get closer. So the coverage is going to be crazy. This will be a place to come to for Life is Strange content. Honest Life is Strange. Not just gushing over it just to gush, but also being very critical of it if that needs to happen, okay? That's what I see myself as. That's what I see this channel as. So I'm really excited to get this started, okay, now that we know quite a bit about this game. But I am a little worried about it. I really will. I will start off by saying that. I'm sure people will have a problem with that, but I do want to throw that out there as well. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, What do you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you, maybe find some things that you didn't really like about it, but overall you loved it? Let me know in the comments below. As always, make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on. Like I said, I'm going to be covering this game over the next couple days. I'm going to do like a daily video, but then as the weeks go on, at least once a week, I'll have a new video on this game, okay? So we got lots of coverage. We'll be covering it all the way till September, then I'll be playing it. We'll live stream it. We'll, review it, cover it, all of that stuff, okay? So lots of Life is Strange content coming. Final thing, if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, PodcastNow15 is my Twitter handle. Link for that is in the description below. Would love to have you guys over there. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. I truly do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.